Bandas and breathing. There are 3 bandas in yoga. Bandas are muscle locks in the body. The third banda is one that we're not going to worry about, is up here in the throat, and that's for more advanced yoga, and we're not going to be concerned about that today. We are worried about the bottom 2 bandas called Uddiyana Banda and Mula Banda. First, we're going to activate our pelvic floor. The feeling here for women, women are a bit more in tune, I think, with our pelvic floor because of a lot of pelvic floor exercises that we're often asked to do, especially around the time pre and post childbirth, if we've gone through that journey. But for those who haven't, this might also be new. The feeling here is a little bit as if we need to go to the bathroom, but we're holding it. What we're activating in the pelvic floor is our perineum. So we're trying to activate the muscles between our genitals and our anus, and that is basically what we're activating for pelvic floor. With women, you're also as well activating up in the vaginal canal as well. Men, I have a little less experience with this because I am a woman. Okay, so pelvic floor. Then we are going to also activate our lower stomach muscles, and we're going to pull one of the lower layers of our stomach muscles, but it's okay if we just generally try to envision pulling all of our stomach muscles in towards the middle line of our body. And again, the lower. So we're looking, if my belly button's around here, we're looking underneath where our belly button is. Ignore the fat roll. So we're pulling that towards the middle. Then we're going to take our belly button and we're going to scoop it back and up. So we're really scooping in here. And the feeling here, if you're having trouble with those 2 images, the feeling here that I like the best, that I always connected to most, is if I am taking a pair of jeans and I want to shut them, but I can't quite fit in them. I just they're too small around the waist, and I suck in so that I can zip up the jeans. And that is the feeling that I have there, that zipper feeling of really zipping up, sucking in there so that I can shut my jeans. And both the pelvic floor and this zipper feeling, both of these bandas, these muscle locks, we are holding at about 50 to 70% in the yoga I do. So we try to hold them the entire yoga practice, but we don't hold them so tight that we are just really, we're only focusing on this and nothing else. No, we're just holding them about 50 to 70%, and we try to hold them the entire time. So that's about the bandas. Bandas in general are very helpful for holding a posture correctly. So making sure that we're not falling into a sort of a bad way of holding a posture, so that we're holding our alignment correctly, or our balance, and are really protecting our spine. Our bandas really help support our lower back. And I noticed too that if I hold bandas while doing other things as well, like snow shoveling was a big one last year, it really helps to protect the lower back. They're also really, bandas are also really important when we move from one posture to another. So maybe not so much in a stretching yoga, but if we're doing a flow yoga, when we sort of go through transitions from one pose to another, the bandas are really what helps us get from one to the other. It's really, our core does so much for us, and this is really activating and helping protect your core, especially pulling up that pelvic floor really does help, even though it's such a small movement, small muscles. Okay. Then our breathing is the second point that's important in my flow yoga classes. How we want to breathe. Again, it's more important for the flow yoga, but in general, it's a really good thing to know for any yoga. We're going to breathe the same amount of time we inhale, we will also exhale. So we try to find this very balanced breath that isn't holding and then, but we try to really have a very mindful inhale the same amount of time as we exhale. Even breath, and we try to keep that breath as we have our practice. So how we use that breath in our practice, especially in the yoga flow practices that I am mostly focusing on, is that we move how we breathe. So if I am inhaling and I'm doing, let's say, head movements, I would inhale, and then when I am done with the inhale, I will exhale and move back. And instead of just moving and matching my breath to the movement, I do it the other way around. I match my movement to the breath. So however I breathe is how I move. And so everybody's going to do it a little bit differently. And at home, with a video, that's no problem. But in a class, sometimes you might see that your neighbor is doing things a little faster or slower than you, and that's completely normal. It's totally okay. Yoga is not a competition. Okay, so just to practice that breathing a little bit, it's interesting when we hold our muscle locks, our bandas that we talked about, we can't breathe all the way into our belly. So we're breathing a little bit higher. And we can try to do something called an ujjayi breath as well, which is the feeling, it's a very nasal breath. It goes really through these nasal passages more forcefully, and it helps build heat in our body so that when we have a warm body, we can stretch our muscles a little bit more safely. So it helps keep that heat in the body and build the heat in the body. The ujjayi breath is done that you exhale in a way as if you're fogging a mirror or a piece of glass and you want to like write on it, like when you were a kid, you know, you go and then you can write on it. That, except for you keep your mouth shut. So, and you're not going, but just one. Okay? So, and that with the mouth shut, you're going in and out through the nose the whole time. So the ujjayi breath, and you can hear it when I do it, you'll hear it. It's quite loud because it's so nasal. So just to hear the breath, it's so we'll practice once the bandas and the breathing together, just to get into the idea of this breathing and holding our bandas at the same time. So when you saw when I was breathing, my chest was moving a lot because I'm only breathing up here and we're not breathing into my belly. So we're holding our bandas, activating our bandas. We're going to sit nice and tall, sit bones pushed down, crown of the head is pulling up so we have a nice long spine. Hands can fall wherever we'd like them to, and we're going to do a box breathing. So I will count inhaling for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold empty for 4. And I will count all of this, so don't worry if you come out, it's not a problem. Just try to get back into it, no worries at all. But do try to practice your breathing and holding your bandas. So we'll start by exhaling. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Try to come back to our regular breathing. Make sure we're still holding our bandas, nice long spine, shoulders back. And now we're just going to breathe on our own and try to keep that really even breath. However long we inhale, we'll try to exhale. Just a couple more breaths, just like this. I'm demonstrating that ujjayi breathing. You do not need to be doing that. You can just be breathing in and out through the nose. Thank you very much. I hope that was helpful to understand the breathing and the bandas.